Hi, I'm Christina Wise, best-selling author of Falling for Money and CEO-founder of the award-winning Good Life Companies. I'm passionate about helping women thrive in business, with money, and in life so that we can truly live a good life. I'm so excited to share with you my SAS. That is my spending is saving system, where I teach 5 surefire ways to start saving today. I'm sharing exactly what I taught recently in my $1,500 training course and sharing it with you for free. You'll hear me talk about 5 SAS buckets. Just think of buckets overflowing with cash. And you'll also hear about my prosperity mapping system, or money map as I sometimes call it. When watching the training, keep in mind that my SAS system I'm teaching you here is just one part of that 5-part prosperity mapping system. You'll also hear some new ways I talk about money, like ARM, which stands for Annual Required Minimum Expense. If you hear any other terms that are new or require some additional explanation, just put your questions in the box below. I'll be sure to respond. Now, let's get started so that you can take home more of that hard-earned cash.
What we're going to do is I'm going to put on the board my money mapping system. It's a system, and like I said before, the system works. So part of this is to learn the system, to believe in the system, and then start putting things into the system, and then you'll drive it. But right now, we're just learning what's under the hood. The working model, what we're going to work off for the rest of our time together, is a $75,000 income. So of course, based on what your true income is, you'll adjust it. The percentages are more or less going to stay the same, but it's just a good working number that I think that many people can relate to. If we're employed, our taxes are taken out for us, right? So we get used to living on what's left over. Or if we're self-employed, we have to pay that, so we pay it quarterly or however we pay it, but we need to go put it somewhere, right? So that's the first piece, is that Uncle Sam gets Uncle Sam's money, but where we get in trouble is that we think we have this $60,000 to live on. My system is no. We pay Uncle Sam first because we don't have a choice, otherwise what? We're in big trouble. So the first thing that we have to change our lives, to start to build first, we're after first financial security. That means we're secure, we have a good foundation, and you'll understand what that really means here in a little bit. And the second piece, we have to build financial freedom. Who wants financial freedom? Do we all? Right? I think that's why we're here. So some of us, we need financial security first, and some of us need financial security and freedom, and then some of us just need to move more from the security to build the freedom, and it's two parts, but security comes first. The only way to build security first and then freedom second is that we pay Uncle Sam first. Who should we pay second? We should pay ourselves second. I'd like to say pay yourself first. Other money gurus say pay yourself first, but that's not an option. So what I'm going to say is that what all the books say, and what Gary and my practice is we save 15% of our gross income. And that's what every money book suggests to do. Now, why don't people save 15% of their income? Because they spend the $60,000. So it comes right off the top, just like taxes. This is life-changing. Like if you start doing this, this is where your money life changed. And I've just started with one piece. And we've just gotten started. So your life starts changing when, roughly, don't do the math, but we're just going to go ahead and put $12,000 here. I think it's like $11,400 or something like that if you were to do 15% of $75,000. But to make the math easy, we're going to divide it like that. So how much is left over? Roughly $48,000. Okay? Are we all following this?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna think of our money in terms of buckets. Buckets of cash. Close your eyes. Imagine buckets full of cash. Buckets full of gold. How does that feel? Really good, all right? So we're thinking of money now as buckets of money, buckets of cash. And we're gonna build those buckets. We're gonna fill those buckets. That's the goal. Freedom is when money is just flowing over the top of all of our buckets. Now, what's the second bucket that gets filled? It's a savings, but really the second one is investments. So we're going to think in terms of investments and savings, and they're very distinct, and we'll talk about how they're distinct. But we do save for invest, but what this $12,000 is right off the top, $1,000 a month is going into our savings. I mean, to save or to go straight into investments. Do you follow? Yes. So right off the top. So that's not our money, and this isn't your money, this isn't your current self's money. Whose money is this? It's your future self, but it's not your current self money. I promise you, this is life-changing if you start thinking about it this way. So this is your future self's money. Uncle Sam gets his, your future self gets his or hers. But you're putting this over here. Why? So that you don't spend it. It's not your money. That's why I want you to think about it. So we're going to talk about what we're going to do with this money later on when we get to the investment bucket. But right now, I just want you to know that right off the top, you start at any check. So many times the question is if we're self-employed, for example, or commission real estate, how do we start budgeting for this? The same thing. If you have a $1,000 commission, take 15% off the top. It's always the same 15% or whatever you're allocating, but that's a good number. If you can only allocate 10, allocate 10%, but you keep it consistent and you're paying your future self. And we're going to understand why we're doing that later on.
I hope I can add some sass to your life with these 5 Spending is Saving training videos. If you have any questions or comments while watching, put them in the comments section below. I will reply personally to every post. Enjoy.